Alright, so good afternoon. It is a overcast Sunday, and we hope that you had a great week. We hope that you were able to take the time and listen to the Lord and see what He has to say to you. Now, I want to talk today about our plans for our garden, what our goals are, and just what practices we do. We follow the Back to Eden garden concept by Paul Gauci. And what that concept is basically one big compost pile. We bring in organic matter. In our case, a big part of that organic matter are wood chips. We also use leaves and grass clippings. For those who haven't heard of Paul Gauci, he's a Vietnam vet. He was affected by Agent Orange, and for years he had a garden, just like a lot of people do. He did the old ways. The birds are pretty chirpy today for some reason. He used to follow the practices of, every day tilling up, working really hard. And one day he just asked the Lord, how can he make things easy? And he looked at what Mother Nature does. He realized that there's nowhere on the planet that Mother Nature tills the land and then a crop is grown. If you take a walk in the woods, every fall leaves drop, cover the forest ground, those leaves break down into soil, and life is grown. So he took that concept and brought it into the garden. What he wanted to do was make gardening easier, more enjoyable, and increase the soil and improve soil health. Now, we are only in a year and a half, and you can already see the difference between our soil that's right here where the chickens are right now and outside. This used to be a runway out to our pasture before we purchased the property, and all this was compacted and it's hard clay. So you can see, I'll try to bring you closer, a great example right here of broken down chips and our clay. So right here's the clay, but all this is starting to break down for chips. So over the time, we're going to be building up that soil. One of the big things that helps break down these wood chips are the chickens. With the chickens' droppings, and that's the key, is that nitrogen reacts with the carbon, the organic matter, and that starts the breakdown process. The other thing that we're doing is we're broad forking this entire garden site. I've already done it once. We're going to end up doing it again when it comes closer to planting time. That way you don't just have this layer of good soil and then compacted clay. We want to break all that up and allow one nice garden site. Now, I showed you a little bit here, but if you just go on the outside right here, you can tell that this is just sticks and wood chips. But then if you cross over to where the chickens are, you can see that breakdown. Now, we're letting the chickens do the work for us, tilling it up. Their droppings are breaking it down. One thing that we will be doing this year is we want our garden to be successful. We understand Mother Nature can play a role in that, but we want to increase our odds. Paul Gauci, he had a great base already of his garden site. This was a brand new site. This all was grass. So what we will be doing this year is we're going to be bringing in some dirt, some topsoil to just increase those odds so we can have a successful garden. So we are excited to see what we have in store for us for growth. We're not abandoning the wood chip garden concept. We're just going to be bringing in some soil, but then we're going to be chipping on top of it. We want to improve our soil. We're just skipping a few years. So to break it down the most simplest way I can is you just need to think of this area as one big compost pile. We have our compost in the back in there, but right here is our garden site. We can't put up enough pallets and just completely put material in, because then we'll just have one big pile and it wouldn't be a garden site. But with this area, we'll be able to grow amazing vegetables for our family. What's up, buddy? How you doing? So we are on a move. We have started our garden plans this year. We have picked what we want to grow. We are going to be starting mapping that garden out just to give us a little jump start. It's still January, but we want to be ready to go right when the weather's just perfect for planting. So you saw our main garden. This, where the goats are and where the pigs are, these are going to be our secondary gardens. Now, we might not grow stuff in them right away. What I'm going to be doing this year is bringing in some cover crops. That way, come winter next year, when we get more pigs and we put the goats back here, their plate is going to be filled with food as their initial, here's your winter paddock. At the same time, those cover crops are going to pull nutrients from the soil and bring it to the top. And the cover crop is going to bring biomass on top to build the soil for future gardens. Just like that we're doing with our house garden, but our biomass is the wood chips. There's a lot of stuff going on with gardening, and I think what I like most about it is the idea of building the soil up, making it healthy. Because without a healthy soil, you're not going to have healthy food. And what's the point of eating stuff if it's not healthy? So we are starting from scratch, and it's important to get it right, to get your foundation right. Because if that's right, the rest of your food, the rest of your house is going to go along with it. So things are moving. Next week, we are butchering one of our Berkshires. That is going to be huge. That is going to be an amazing move forward for this farm, that's going to be our biggest animal yet that we butchered. Chris is building a greenhouse, and we have our butchering poles set up. So things are moving good. We're outside enjoying the sun when we can, and we're just enjoying the weekend for what's left of it. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in. This wasn't a long video, but we just wanted to show you what we're doing for our garden, how we're preparing, how we build that soil up, bringing in chips, letting the chickens help break it down with their droppings. The chickens do the work for us, spread out the chips, till the soil, and also fertilize the soil. So they are working while we can play. So again, thank you for tuning in. We ask you to share, like, and hit that subscribe button. We thank you for watching.